The world has sold you a lie about money. They told you that to be wealthy, you have to grind until you burn out, step on others to climb the ladder, and live obsessed with the numbers on a screen. Society treats wealth like a war, where only the most aggressive survive. But what if the greatest minds in history knew a shortcut? What if the secret to true prosperity wasn't greed, but wisdom? Seneca, one of the richest men in the Roman Empire, said, "Wealth is the slave of the wise man, but the master of the fool." He wasn't a broke academic. He held a fortune equivalent to billions today. He knew that money follows laws that most people never learned. The Stoics weren't monks in caves. They were emperors, merchants, advisors. They built empires because they mastered the one thing most people ignore: the relationship between the mind and the market. Today, I'm giving you the 10 Stoic laws of money. These aren't budgeting tips. These are ancient principles that turned slaves into philosophers and philosophers into kings. Before we start, do one thing. Hit that like button. It tells the algorithm you're here for growth, not just entertainment. And if you're ready, type in the comments, "I attract wealth with wisdom." Law 1. The law of inner wealth. Your bank account is a mirror. It reflects what is happening inside your mind. Epictetus was born a slave with 0 possessions, yet he was considered wealthier than the senators who owned him. Why? Because he understood that true wealth is having few wants. Most people say, "Once I have money, I'll have peace." That's backwards. That's like saying, "Once I reach the destination, I'll start the car." The feeling of abundance must come first. Think about lottery winners who go broke in 3 years. They had the money, but they had poverty minds. Now, look at the entrepreneur who loses everything and builds a bigger empire 2 years later. They lost the cash, but they kept the inner wealth. Wealth begins in the territory no one can steal: your mindset. If you feel lacking inside, you will make desperate decisions. If you feel complete inside, you see opportunities where others see obstacles. Law 2. The law of financial detachment. Here's the paradox. The more you obsess over money, the faster it runs away. Desperation has a smell, and the market hates it. Seneca used to practice voluntary poverty. He would spend days eating cheap food and wearing rough clothes, just to prove to himself that his soul didn't depend on his gold. Are you a master of your money, or is your money your master? If you're staying in a toxic job just for the check, or making investments based on FOMO, you are a slave. When you practice detachment, you negotiate better. You invest with a cold, clear head. You don't panic when the market dips. You stop chasing and start choosing. Money is a great servant, but a terminal master. Law 3. Time is the supreme currency. Lost money can be earned back. Lost time is a ghost. It's gone forever. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." We guard our wallets with our lives, but we let people steal our hours every single day. Stop trading your life for things you don't need to impress people you don't like. Every hour you spend scrolling or complaining is a withdrawal from the only account that never gets a refill. Truly wealthy people don't just buy stuff. They buy freedom. They invest their time in skills and character. If you spend an hour learning, you're planting a seed. If you spend an hour distracting yourself, you're burning the field. Law 4. Strategic frugality. There is a massive difference between being cheap and being strategically frugal. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man on earth. He had access to every luxury, yet he lived with a simplicity that shocked Rome. He knew that every unnecessary luxury was a new chain. Strategic frugality isn't about suffering, it's about clarity. It's asking, does this purchase serve my growth or my ego? Most people finance cars they can't afford, to park at houses they don't own. They are performance rich, but actually broke. The Stoic path is the opposite. Live below your means so you can invest in your meaning. Law 5, silent abundance. Nothing kills wealth faster than the need to show it off. We live in the era of the flex, but true abundance doesn't need an audience. When you flaunt your wealth, you attract two things: envy and expectations. You trade your peace for a few likes. The truly wealthy find security in silence. They don't need to prove they've won. By keeping your success quiet, you protect your mental energy. You stop playing the comparison game. Your success becomes a secret garden that you cultivate for yourself, not for the crowd. Law 6, investing in yourself. If you had $1 million in a bank and the bank collapsed, you'd have nothing. But if you invest that million into your own skills, nobody can ever take it. The Stoics treated learning as a survival necessity. Epictetus's only asset was his education, and it was that asset that took him from chains to the palace. Most people buy a new iPhone every year, but haven't bought a book or a course in 5 years. They are investing in hardware that depreciates instead of software, your mind. That appreciates. Be the person whose value increases every year, regardless of the economy. Law 7, independence from desires. The consumer world is designed to keep you in a state of not enough. Marcus Aurelius said, very little is needed for a happy life. He wasn't saying, don't get rich. He was saying, don't let your happiness depend on it. This is the hedonic treadmill. You get the raise, you buy a bigger house, and suddenly you need a bigger raise to pay for the house. You're running faster just to stay in the same place. When you can look at a luxury item and say, that's nice, but I don't need it, you are truly free. Financial freedom isn't having $1 million, it's having a life that doesn't require $1 million to be happy. Law 8, magnetic generosity. This sounds counterintuitive, but the Stoics believed that what is good for the hive is good for the bee. If you hold on to your money with a closed fist, nothing can get out, but nothing can get in either. Generosity creates a network of value. When you help others, you're not losing money, you're investing in human capital. The most successful people are those who provide the most value to the most people. If you operate from a place of, how can I give? The world naturally responds with, how can we reward you? Law 9, financial patience. We want everything now, but wealth is built like Chinese bamboo. For years, you water it and see nothing. Then, in a few weeks, it shoots up 80 feet. Most people quit in the watering stage. They want the 80 feet without the years of roots. Patience is an active strength. It's staying the course when the market is red. It's sticking to your strategy when your friends are getting rich quick on scams. If you can wait longer than your competition, you will eventually own the competition. Law 10, wealth with purpose. Money without purpose is just a burden. If you accumulate wealth just to have a bigger pile of gold, you'll end up like Midas, rich but starving. The Stoics believed wealth should serve the common good. What would you do if money wasn't an issue? If your answer is sit on a beach, you'll be bored in a month. But if your answer is solve this problem or help these people, then your wealth has a soul. When your money is tied to a purpose, you have infinite motivation. You don't get burned out because you aren't working for a number, you're working for a legacy. The ancient Stoics didn't have apps, but they had the blueprint. Master your mind, and you will master your money. If this reached you today, don't just watch ACT. Pick one of these laws and apply it this week. Subscribe to join our journey and share this with one person who needs to break their chains. Remember, true poverty is the lack of wisdom. Stay stoic, stay wise,